All right. Hello, everyone. It's good to see you again.
Right.
Oh
Hello,
God, I'm
everyone.
unmuted.
It's
I'm unmuted on the other thing. Okay, so the technical difficulty of today is that when I went to the starting soon screen, for whatever reason, Streamlabs did not want to export the starting soon music to my earbuds. So I couldn't tell when the music was over, so I just had it unmuted in, like, studio view. And I forgot about it whenever I switched back over, because I'm so used to Streamlabs just doing it for me. So, hi, history teacher. Hi, Logan. Hi, Hero. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So remember how last time I said, hey, odds are it's not gonna be a very long stream, because I've only got so many, like, okay, no, that's, I keep looking at chat and getting distracted. Alright, so you know how last stream I was like, hey, I'm gonna have to end early because, my air conditioner is in my bedroom, and it's really fucking hot in Canada right now? Yeah, Hero, whenever he first showed up, or whenever they first showed up, I saw their name was all hieroglyphics, so I'm like, oh, I'll call you Hero for short. Do you have a name you'd rather me call you, though? Like, if you don't want me to, like, if they don't want me to call them that, then I won't. But yes, so, okay, I'll finish my, tangent in a sec, so I don't actually remember if I fucking greeted everyone. Hello, history teacher. Yes, okay, I did. Hello, souls. Fi? Okay, sounds good. I mean, you know, they can talk for themselves, you know? I don't know if you have to do the talking for them, but either way. So yeah, so last time I was like, hey, it's gonna be a short stream because my air conditioner's in my bedroom, it's hot in Canada right now, and it's gonna heat up in here way too quick with me and my computer and the rest of the apartment being warm. It's gotten worse. It's actually hotter today than it was before. So, yeah, today's stream definitely isn't going to be very long. I literally had... I had my bedroom closed off from the rest of the apartment for like an hour before this, so that this way it could get as cool as possible in here. I am already beginning to sweat. It's bad. And the worst part is that it's humid. I'm pretty sure yesterday there was like a humidity index of like 90% or something stupid. And it was already like 95 degrees Fahrenheit outside. 30 to 35 degrees for everyone who doesn't live in the US. But yeah, it's bad. I don't like it. Hi, 100th Assassin. Welcome to the stream. It's the whole reason why, like, it's pretty much the sole reason why I didn't really do much today, because I'm like, okay, I want to go to the gym. I have to walk for 20 minutes to get there. I'm not doing that. I want to write today. I like doing that on my balcony. That's not gonna happen today. So, yeah, it hasn't been the most productive day for me. But, oh well. Shit happens, and I guess I shouldn't be wasting any more time. Let's go to this screen, and let's bring up Steins Gate 0. Come on. There we go. Start the game. Hope you get rain soon. I think we are supposed to. I don't remember when, but we're supposed to get some soon, but even then, it's only going to take the temperature down by, like, 5 degrees, and it's gonna make it even more humid. So, yay! I love summer! Best fucking season ever! Okay, no, we don't have to watch this again. We've seen this. We've seen this. Alright, so last time, we got introduced to the premise of the game, which is that, this takes place after a section in the true ending of the first game, where Okabe kills Kurisu on accident, and then time travels, like, back to the present, and is, like, fucking broken by it. But in this version of events, he didn't get the video call that led to him, like, trying again and actually getting it right this time. I thought Canada was cold? Me too! Honestly, over the last few years, it has been horrible. Like, last summer wasn't too bad. It stayed around, like, 25 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty comfortable. That's not too bad. And no Mayuri slap. No Mayuri slap. That didn't happen either. Suzuha actually almost did slap him, and Mayuri stopped him. So yes, this is another thing that leads to the bad end, is Okabe not getting punched or slapped, which is very, very funny to me. But yeah, it's like here in Ontario, summers just suck now. There's like a 50-50 chance that you'll get one that's bearable, or you'll get one that is absolutely terrible and you need to basically like stay inside in the air conditioning all day. Of course, it's like, on paper the temperature doesn't get very high, but it's the humidity, dude. Trust me, you don't know hell until you've walked out in 95-degree temperatures and it's so humid out that you're sticky already. Like you have like a layer of pre-sweat on you just stepping outside. Even fall was bad. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember last fall I think we did have a heat wave or two, but overall it wasn't terrible. Humid is really fucking bad. Like, I know my grandma's told me a few times, the church she goes to, the pastor there moved here from, I think it was somewhere in the Middle East, and in one of his sermons, he said, like, yeah, people are always, like, saying, like, oh, Canadians shouldn't complain about, like, the heat there. There are places that are way hotter, and he's like, I lived somewhere way hotter. The heat here is worse. Because at least when it's, like, really hot in other places, it's dry. You can breathe. Here, you don't get that luxury. It sucks. It's awful. Fuck summer. All my homies hate summer. Anyways, let's continue. So let's just, load up the game. Because also, wait a minute. Wait, no. None of these are, huh? Oh, that's probably quick saves that I'm loading. There we go. I was about to say, like, did I lose my fucking saves? In the Middle East, it's 176 degrees? That doesn't sound right. Like, I think that's a temperature you could set on an oven. I mean... I'm just gonna play the game. We're not gonna talk about the heat anymore. I'm wasting too much time. It is heating up in here by the second. Several days passed after the ATF party. 10 minutes from Ikebukuro via the express train. And then 10 minutes by bus from a station called Wako City in Saitama. This is why I like winter and spring, and nope, it's just quick save. Awesome. Yeah, my favorite seasons are fall and winter, although I've come to like spring a lot recently. I think it's just because, like, I'm too used to, like, going outside nowadays, and, like, not as much as a lot of people. Like, I know my mom is, like, really big on outdoorsy shit. But, like, I miss being able to just, you know, go outside without a coat or without sweating my ass off, so fall and spring are the best seasons for me. Oh no, Nightbot, come on! What's wrong with you? Sorry, souls, Nightbot's already getting trigger happy. I don't remember if I read this line, so I'm gonna just, And then 10 minutes by bus from a station called Wako City in Saitama. The office I was looking for was on the second floor of a building right next to Riken. Global Brain Science Comprehensive Research Organization, Japanese Office Prep Room. That was what the plate on the door said. To get in, you needed 3 types of special keys, plus a security card.
ここは?
各国の脳科学研究者が連携をして新しい機構を作る予定なの。私たちの研究所が主導してね。
Oh, right. I forgot to finish my explanation of what happened the last time. So Okabe went to this, like, he was helping out at this, like, convention for different, like, universities and, like, scientific research facilities and stuff. He met Maho, who is a scientist who worked with Kurisu. And we also met Dr. Leskinen, who's, he's American ? Talks in English and is very, very tall. This lady has dangerous levels of smug. I mean, you're right. She led me inside. Oh no. We can respond with stickers! Okay. Oh. No. No. I forget how I fucking... 1! That's the button! Making a save. Should have been doing this before, but you know, whatever. Better late than never. Let's play along. You are typing for a long time. Oh wait, no, I have to click. I forget that with this. This is one of the hidden doors of Akihabara that leads to the truth, nya? If you know not of it, then very well, nya. Saddens me that we cannot journey together. But if my sacrifice shall put an end to this, then I shall go through the door with gladness, nya. I love the stickers. That's a cute touch. Alright, the office must have been newly rented. Most of the desks were still empty, showing no signs of having ever been used. There wasn't even a whiteboard, which made the room look even more empty. There wasn't a lot of natural light. Maybe the windows were on the north side? The only illumination was from the overhead fluorescent lights. The room felt very cold. Wish I was there, bud!
ここはあくまでも準備室だから。
No one was sitting at any of the desks, but 2 of them had stuff on them. One of them was a mess, filled with notes, calculators, coffee cups, and supplement bottles. That was the one Maho sat down at. Which meant that the one that was neatly organized must belong to Dr. Leskinen, right?
教授は今日はオフ。
Well, it was Sunday.
君も？
ええ。そうじゃなかったら昼過ぎまで寝ていられるわけないでしょ。
That's true. When I'd gone to pick her up from her hotel in Wako City, she'd come out of the room half asleep. This was the day that I was to meet Amadeus Kurisu. Maho had gone over the basics of being a tester on the way here. Essentially, Amadeus needed sample data for conversations, and they were going to give me an environment where I could talk to it at any time, 24 hours a day. No, I don't wish I was at the office, I wish I was somewhere cold. She didn't give me any details beyond that, though. So I'll be able to talk to Amadeus Kurisu 24 hours a day, huh?
あいつはクリスのアマデウスはここにいるのか？
ええ。
Maho nodded and gave me a glance.
あいつと呼んだわよね、今。
え？ああ。
私が思っているよりもずっと親しかったのね、あなたたち。
Yeah, a lot closer. Maybe my silence was an answer in itself. Maho's response was uncharacteristically hesitant. Wait a minute, I got a text. Okay, babe, may I have a moment of your time? I feel it's only fair to... Wait. Is Luca a boy or a girl in this run? I mean, I don't want to be rude to them, so... But I mean, I've still got to let them know what's going on. I love how fucking haggard Rintaro looks in his avatar. Okay. Right, I keep forgetting I have to click. A girl? Huh? Why? No, I just got that feeling somehow. Blah. But he's a guy. Oh, I see. That's right. Yes. That's right. Yes. I'm sorry, goodbye. What was that? Okay.
だとしたら会うのはやめた方がいいかもしれないわよ。
どうしてだ？
That man is tired! He is! He's been through a lot of shit!
相手が親しい人であればあるほどあのシステムは残酷だと思うから。
大丈夫だ。
I mean, you say that!
わかった。もう言わない。その代わり一つ覚えておいて。ロードする記憶はクリスが最後に更新をした3月のデータをベースにしたものよ。
I remember playing the first Steins Gate. I was thinking what happened in the beta timeline, and we'll get game for it. Yeah, I mean, this is basically the game of what happens in the beta timeline, I believe. Unless, like, okay, so the one with Mayuri dying is the alpha timeline, and then the one with Kurisu dying is the beta timeline, right? At least I think that's how it went. It's been a year. I'm not gonna remember everything perfectly.
だから3月以降、例えば彼女が日本に留学していた時のことを聞いても全く通じない。
That's right, isn't it?
それに3月から今日までの間に私や教授が何度も起動してしまっているから、その度にクリスは、ああ、アマデウスの方のクリスね。彼女は元のクリスとは違う記憶を蓄積しているわ。私たちが聞かせた話、ネットで検索した情報、新しく会話を交わした人たち。
Did I watch the non-canon Steins Gate movie? Admittedly, I had no idea it even existed. I try not to look into it too much whenever I realize, like, hey, I'm probably gonna play the rest of the games in the series. Like, I don't wanna spoil myself too much. So it's also why I didn't look into, like, the anime or anything, so... Yeah, I had no idea that even existed. Just a moment. There we go. My foot was falling asleep. What province of Canada do you live in? Ontario.
つまりこれから会うのはあなたの友人だったマキセ・クリスではないということ。
There are 3 timelines, the one where Kurisu dies, the one where Mayuri dies, and the one where you die on stage as you perform a rendition of the Aristocrats. I was born there? Hell yeah!
このシステムの問題点の一つなんだけれど、往々にしてこちら側、つまり人間の方が混乱してしまうのよ。
You live in Quebec? I thought you said on a previous stream that you lived in, like, that you were Finnish. Oh wait, no, that makes sense still. I think it's just because, like, I'm so far removed from, like, my ancestors who moved here. But, like, I guess I could call myself, like, Polish or Welsh, maybe? Recently learned that anime fans from Quebec are called queebs. Somehow, I don't believe that, but...
まるで本当のクリスと今この瞬間にチャットでもしているような錯覚に陥るから。
So don't get reality and fantasy mixed up, I guess.
共有できていない記憶の齟齬に関してこちらの脳がついていけなくなってしまうのね。
Memories that aren't shared. Now there's a feeling I knew well. Creating Steiner. It was a power only I possessed, which made my memories different from those of the people around me. I was born in... I don't know what that means. Oh, Michigan! In USA with 5 Great Lakes, so I'm next to Canada. Hell yeah! I mean, honestly, living in Ontario is probably the only reason why the heat is so bad because, okay, so fun fact, 90% of Ontario's population lives within, I believe it's like 100, not 100, I think it's like 500 kilometers of either the St. Lawrence River or one of the Great Lakes. So that adds to the humidity because that's all water, baby. And whenever it gets hot, that shit's gonna evaporate and get into the atmosphere.
案内してくれ。
Maho gave me a slight nod.
こっちよ。
She led me to the back of the room. There was a booth separated by a thick partition. To get inside the booth, you needed a different card key than the one used to get into the room, as well as a security code.
随分厳重なんだな。
今の時代、産業スパイが一番恐ろしいの。
Makes sense. I mean, this is some, like, revolutionary technology for, like, 2010, 2011? Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna be okay for Okabe, but, I mean, he's gonna do it one way or another. The secret to dealing with heat is to jump into said lakes as they are hoarding the local area's refreshing chill. I wish I lived close enough to the water to do that, trust me. Trust me, if there was like a river or a lake near where I lived, 100%, like any kind of beach nearby, perfect, I would love it. Unfortunately, I am not that lucky. She entered the security code and unlocked the door.
どうぞ。
The room was about 2.5 meters per side. At one end was a white desk, and above it was a PC with a built-in 30-inch screen monitor.
少しだけ後ろに座っていて。
Follow-up question, if you were submerged underwater, is it considered 100% humidity or 0% humidity? So, okay, I think that for there to be humidity, it has to be, like, air. Like, when you're underwater, it's not humid, you're just wet. There was a small sofa that let you sit behind the user and see what was happening on the screen. I sat there. Maho powered on the PC and began to type. A second later, the words Amadeus system appeared on screen. I saw her put the ID in. What's more humid than your air being water, though? Okay, you know what? You got me there. Salieri. Okay, we got our first little Wikipedia entry. Antonio Salieri. Lived from 1750 to 1825. An Italian composer who lived in the same time as Mozart. He was a court composer at Vienna for many years, and trained such famous composers as Beethoven, Schubert, and Liszt. I hope I got those names right. I didn't hear of the latter two before now. Salieri and Amadeus, right? And Amadeus, huh? Oh, is that also a Mozart reference? Yeah. Amadeus is Latin for beloved of God, and the middle name of the Austrian composer Mozart. There is also a play and a movie about Mozart of the same name. Very interesting. Was there some meaning to that? Come to think of it, in the famous movie Amadeus, there was a character who was spiteful and jealous of Mozart's incredible talents, but who, in the bottom of his heart, admired him more than anyone else. Got a wall scroll of Steins Gate, hell yeah! Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart lived from 1765 to 1791. Damn, I didn't know he died so young. An Austrian composer. Along with Haydn and Beethoven, he is one of the most famous classical composers. He began to write songs at the age of 5, and left us over 600 masterpieces. In the modern era, he's often referred to as a genius, and there are many stories about him. Interesting. That character's name was Salieri.
パスワードは見ないで。
Maho moved her body to hide her hands. I looked away. She finished logging into the system, and a simple, bare command prompt appeared on the screen.
準備はいい？
ああ、頼む。
Okay. Maho entered several commands at the prompt.
ごめんなさい。ここはちょっと見せられないの。
まあ、俺が見たところでさっぱりだけどな。
でも一応ね。
She turned off the monitor. Also, just a moment. My bedroom door is still closed and Vesta wants out. Sorry about that. She was scratching at the door and I didn't want her to cause any damage to it. She turned off... Oh god, my voice. Awful. This is what happens when I stream after not speaking a word since like 9 o'clock yesterday. Usually I try to do some like vocal warm-up practices, but I got distracted and I forgot. I think I also forgot last time too. Ugh. Alright. She turned off the monitor. Then she spun around to face me. I suddenly realized I was clenching my fists. How long had I been doing that? My hands were sweaty. Knees weak, arms spaghetti, and there was a red spot at the base of my thumb where my nails had dug in. Was I more nervous than I realized?
どうしたの？
いや、今になってちょっとおじけづいてきた。
まだ間に合うわよ。今すぐここから出ていけばいいわ。
意地が悪いな。
そう？あなたのこと心配してあげてるのに。
だったらもう少しそれらしい言い方をした方がいい。クリスといい、君といい、実験大好きっ子は。
For a second, the old joking me was about to come back. I quickly changed the subject.
実験ばかりに明け暮れているやつは可愛げがない。
今の発言は明らかに誹謗中傷ね。侮辱罪で訴えてあげてもいいわ。
やめてくれ、恐ろしい。
いい弁護士を知っているから紹介してあげましょうか。
その前に告訴を取り下げてくれ。
示談に持ち込もうというのならそれ相応の金額は覚悟することね。
後で毒ペンを怒るかな。
Fuck yes, the Dr. Pepper propaganda begins. Dr. P, the abbreviation for a type of carbonated beverage first served in America during the 1800s. At present, it's only available in eastern Japan and some other small areas. It has a very unique taste, and its secret recipe is a combination of over 20 flavors. I didn't know that it was only available in, like, certain parts of Japan. Like, I could understand, like, a drink or something only being available in, like, certain parts of, you know, like the US or Canada because they're such massive countries, but I figured in a country as small as Japan, you know, it wouldn't be as limited. I guess there's probably other stuff factoring into that outside of just the, you know, geographical size.
安い。
I heard a small sound from the back of her throat. I guess she was laughing. Normally, I'd find that irritating, but strangely, coming from the girl in front of me... No, she was a grown woman, actually. I didn't. Maho Hyajo was very strong-willed, with the prickliness and short temper unique to scientists. She always seemed to be a little upset about something. But maybe she wasn't that bad. Oh, I see. Maho. She's a lot like Kurisu. Okay, well, don't start using her as a replacement goldfish now. When I first met Kurisu, she was like that. Arrogant, rude, never willing to change her mind, stubborn, hard-headed, always ready to confront you. Dr. Pepper has 23 flavors, none of them delicious. Hey, you take that back. Always ready to confront you with raised eyebrows whenever you said something that she didn't like. I truly thought I'd never seen a more unlikable woman. But despite my first impression, on the inside she turned out to be fragile, easily hurt, and so kind, and so lovable.
何がおかしいんです、先輩。
I suddenly heard a girl's voice from the speaker. I found myself jumping off of the sofa. I knew this voice. I couldn't forget it. I could never. Maho turned on the monitor. There she is. The girl I'd never forgotten appeared on the screen. Maybe it was based off of her appearance at the brain science lab. Because she was wearing a white lab coat. The PC's camera turned towards me on its own.
先輩、そちらの方は。
Maho was introducing me. But I didn't hear anything she was saying. I simply stared, entranced. I wanted to reach out my hands. I wanted to touch her. She was right there.
岡部倫太郎さん。はじめまして、牧瀬クリスです。どうぞよろしく。
All right. Wait, we didn't even get to the intro screen last time? Huh? Should have seen this plotline coming. Oh wait, this might be Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. You know what? I can fix this. Just remind me after the intro is done to turn back on the audio. Sorry, I shouldn't be jamming out to this because you guys can't even hear it. Fuck yeah. Alright. There we go. Audio back on. Because we should be fine now. Closed epigraph.
さあ、岡部さん。リラックスしてください。あなたは私の声を架け橋として過去へと降りていきます。
Ah, hypnosis.
どんどん降りていって、やがて柔らかい色をした光が見えてきます。
I was dreaming. Daydreaming. I was aware that I was lying on a big sofa, undergoing counseling. I tried my best to stay calm and imagine what the psychologist was telling me.
その光は何色に見えますか？
赤。
赤ですか。なるほど。その光の中にあなたの大切な人が立っています。その人はあなたの家族でしょうか？
いや。
では友人？それとも恋人？
恋人。いや。恋人じゃない。友人ですらない。
ではどういう？
俺とあいつは。
Memories came flooding back into my mind like a geyser.
ちょっと来てくれませんか？ 強いね。話して。あんたがタイムリープしたのは分かってる。マユリを助けて。ベータ世界線へ行きなさい。マユリが死なない世界へ。それがあんたのためでもあるし、私のためでもある。岡部は私のこと覚えててくれる？ねえ、私死ぬのかな？死にたくないよ。
岡部さん、
俺が刺した。俺が
いいですか？私があなたの肩を叩きます。それを合図に意識がはっきりしてきますから。3、2、1、はい。
There was a loud sound, and then I felt an impact on my shoulders. Kurisu's suffering face disappeared instantly, and I could feel my consciousness awakening. Okabe brain trauma? Yeah, he's, I like that it's not shying away from, like, the psychological consequences of the last game. I assume we're gonna get some of that with Mayuri, too, because, I mean, Okabe did witness her die, like, over and over and over and over again. I mean, we got a snippet of it in that little sequence just now, but I'm expecting there'll be more where that comes from. I stood up off the sofa. I felt dizzy and almost fell over.
大丈夫ですか？少し休んでいてください。今タオルを持ってきますから。
The psychologist left the room. I realized I was soaked in sweat. The air conditioner was working, so I could tell it wasn't from the heat. It was the first time I tried hypnotherapy at a mental health clinic. Hypnotherapy. A method of therapy where the patient is placed in a hypnotic state, and the therapist acts directly on their subconscious mind to remove the psychological traumas that lead to mental illness. In Japan, there is no government certification system for hypnotherapy, but therapeutic associations do offer their own certifications. Certified hypnotherapists are sometimes called hypnosis technicians. Interesting. All this technology does is tell you that the universe is out to get you, and it is spiteful. Pretty much, like, that's the reality that Okabe's had to live in, and, like, worst part is he can't really talk to anyone about it. The only person that he can talk to about it is the girl that he murdered, so that's great. That's definitely helpful for someone's mental health. My body felt strangely heavy. When I got outside, it was night. It was almost December, and the wind was cold. Mayuri! Her new outfit is so cute! Mayuri Shina asked me gently. Mayuri was a high school student and my childhood friend. She'd come with me to counseling today. I told her I didn't need her to, but she left school early to come. All I ever did was make her worry. Around 3 months ago, my one obsession had been saving her. To me, she had always been someone that I had to protect. And now she was worried about me. It was only because of Mayuri's recommendation that I'd tried counseling. I mean, yeah, that's... Eh? Got a sec, Uncle Okarin? Okay. Listen, what do you think I should do about Mom and Dad? What do you mean? I just can't see them getting together like this. Well, you're right. Uncle Okarin, is there anything you can do? I know there's nothing I can do to help with that. You're right, yeah. Kinda hurts that you just gave up that easily. It doesn't seem to be your kind of thing, Uncle. I love the jealous fucking... I love that sticker. It's so good. Wait, what's this? Can't click on that right now. Alright.
まあ大したことないってさ。
Liar. I told her a small lie to make her feel better. Actually, they told me I'd suffered serious trauma. They'd stopped the hypnotherapy and given me a course of counseling and drugs. Now they wanted to wait to see the results. Basically, they decided there was nothing to do but treat my symptoms and wait for it to heal naturally. I mean, that's pretty much all you can do for most mental illnesses. It's like a lot of people think that, you know, you go to your first therapy session and all of a sudden you're cured, you're better, you are mentally healthy forever. Or, you know, even like within the first couple of friggin' sessions. Also, Hi God is probably dead, but that's extremely rude to come into a stream and say. Anyways, but yeah, so it's like a lot of people just assume that therapy is like this magic thing that'll just like instantly cure you, but no, it's like, it takes work on your end as much as it does on the psychologist's end to help you feel better. And also, like, a lot of the time it is just mitigating symptoms. If you're not rude, then act that way. That's all I'm saying. Basically, they decided there was nothing to do but wait. I already read this. I couldn't tell if what Maho had shown me yesterday was having an effect. I underwent treatment without telling the psychologist about the time machine or the world lines or most of the things that had happened. So maybe there was no way for them to make a proper diagnosis. That's why you go to McDonald's and buy a few Happy Meals. Yeah, that cures your depression. They're called Happy Meals for a reason, right? In any event, I decided not to think too much about the results.
なあマユリ、夕飯これからだろ。何か食べに行くか。おごるぞ。
ああ、それなら秋葉原に行ってもいいかな。ルカ君とフェリスちゃんがね、久々にオカリンに会いたいって。
Akihabara, huh? The clinic was in walking distance of my house. Akihabara was much farther away. But even so, I couldn't turn down Mayuri's request. Until the events of this summer, I'd gone there almost every day. In fact, I'd practically lived there. Lately, I only went 3 times a week at the absolute most. And then only to go shopping on the way home from school. We went out into the plaza in front of the station. Just like in Ikebukuro, even though it was only a month until Christmas, there were barely any decorations. I was sure the whole place would be covered in them the minute it was December 1st. Eventually, I was sure to see maids in Santa outfits. That is a wild thing. To me, at least, you know. Thanks, Souls. I don't know what I did to win that, though. I don't know if I deserve that trophy.
秋葉原でチラシを配るサンタ服を着たメイドか。
Therapist, when talking about your problems, doesn't solve them in any way. I mean, yeah, because it's also partially on you to kind of, like, make some changes in your life. It's the unfortunate thing is that, like, getting more mentally healthy takes a lot of work, and a lot of mental illnesses drain your ability to do that work. It's a vicious cycle, but you can break out of it. I would know from experience. Even though I'm not completely broken out of it. Dang, imagine waiting until December to put up Christmas decorations. Heaven. I mean, I shouldn't... I'm a bit hypocritical to say that, because I'll put out Halloween decorations in, like, September, you know? It's just my own personal biases. Akihabara could be really weird.
Ah, Felice-chan to Luka-kun da. Doo-doo-doo.
Doo-doo-doo! It's been so long since we've heard that! therapy is low-key a scam? I mean, I'll disagree with that as someone who's, like, had a lot of therapy. It's like, it depends on the therapist. Because, of course, it's like going to a doctor. You kind of have to shop around a little bit and find one that actually works for you, which is difficult and not fun. But, like, once you find a therapist that can actually connect with you and understands, like, how to help you, therapy from Loki is a scam. What is that? Is that a Marvel thing that I don't know enough about? But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like therapy gets a bad rep because, like I was saying, people expect it to just magically solve everything. You talk to someone once, and all of a sudden it's all better. Why would I pay to talk to someone? Well, why would I go to a doctor if I have, like, a pain in my stomach? Because, like, if shit gets bad, you need to reach out to someone. Would you trust the Norse god of trickery to be your therapist? No, because it's the god of trickery! See, okay, I was just assuming, like, from the way that you capitalize that therapy from Loki is, like, a Marvel property that I just didn't fucking hear about, because there are so many Marvel shows and movies and stuff nowadays. I'm just like, even before, you know, Phase 3 ended, I was already like, oh, there's, like, too much content here for me to consume. And seeing how much there is now is just like, I don't want anything to do with the MCU anymore. It's like that one fucking picture where it's like, 1,000 episodes is too much, I'm gonna go find One Piece myself. Ferris and Luca must have been waiting. They ran over as soon as they saw us. A doctor would never look me in the eye and unironically say, well, what do you think you can do to help yourself? But I mean, that is like an actual thing. This is what I'm saying. Like, they're asking you to discuss, like, steps that you could take in the future. That's... And as someone who has dealt with people like that, like, it's not just advice from some stranger. They actually know what the hell they're talking about. I mean, of course, you could also just go to, like, one of those AI therapists they have nowadays on stuff like Character AI if you want that. But it is cheaper, but which is unfortunate. That is the big thing with therapy. I want to, like, encourage people to get it, but it's fucking expensive. Like, I do virtual sessions, and even they're like $100 Canadian. Wild. Especially with the cost of living nowadays, like... Either way, enough with the therapy discussion. I'm just gonna keep moving forward. Ferris Yan Yan jumped at me without the slightest hesitation. Oh god, you got glomped! She was a maid, and Ferris wasn't her real name. I knew her real name, but if I didn't call her Ferris at all times, even when she wasn't working, she'd get mad at me. She was wearing the same outfit she always wore. Her work clothes from her job at the maid cafe, May Queen Yan. Was May Queen going to switch to Santa outfits soon? I tried to pull Ferris off of me, but it wasn't working. Maybe I should just steal the cat ears off her head. He really isn't a chuny anymore! You know, as annoyed as I got at Okabe in the first game, it's like... It's almost kind of sad to see him give up his chuny ways. Sorry, Ferris, that's in my tragic backstory now. Net slang, an embarrassing part of your history that you would rather not talk about or that you wish was forgotten. Its origin can be found in a certain famous giant robot anime. Amazing. Ferris looked upset, but I decided to ignore her. Kyoma Hoyo. How do you pronounce Hoyoin? I forget how you pronounce his fucking name! Alright, we're just gonna skim right past that. was part of a past I had sealed away. I decided to pretend that he never existed. He had meddled with a forbidden invention called the time machine, and as a result, the systems that ruled the world had punished him. He'd dashed the hopes of many, lost the life of someone he'd cared for, and his heart had suffered grievous wounds. He must never be awakened again. I didn't need him anymore.
じゃあなんて呼べばいいのかにゃ。
そりゃあ岡部とか。
やっぱりオカリンって呼ぶのが可愛くていいんじゃないかな。ねえフェリスちゃん。
By the way, Ferris was what Mayuri called Ferris. She claimed it was easier to pronounce or something like that. It's the same! It's the same though!
マユシーが言うならこれからそう呼ぶにゃ。なんだか違和感あるけど。
She looked unsatisfied, but she backed away.
ルカ子も久しぶりだな。
はい。
Lukako smiled happily. He always looks as beautiful as a pretty girl. But he's a guy. He was a classmate of Mayuri's and could often be seen helping at the Yanabayashi shrine where his family lived. I mean, we know this. Oh, fuck, I keep hitting this to bring up the tips. Yanabayashi Shrine, a shrine in Akihabara. Cross the Mansebashi Bridge and then go down the side street and then go under the bridge there and you'll see it along the river. Home to many stray cats, as well as Luka Urushibara. Urushibara? I'm doing my best. I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't call him Lukako. Just like I told Ferris not to call me Kyoma. He had his own name. Luka Urushibara. Urushibara. Calling Lukako Luka after all this time, that would be really embarrassing.
なんだかとても懐かしいような気がします。僕、時々ラボに顔を出すんですけど、岡部さん、最近あんまり来ていませんよね。
Are you still renting it out even though you don't go there? Sounds like a bit of a waste of money, but I guess it's there for Mayu and Daru.
大学のゼミが忙しいんだ。ATF の準備もあったしな。
Even after that was done, I'd been busy with Maho and Dr. Leskinen, and then Amadeus. I hadn't had a chance to rest. But I avoided mentioning that to them.
あと、サークル活動もしてるしな。
Oh?
サークルに入ったんですか？何のサークルかにゃ？やっぱり UFO とか UMA とか。
I need to stop doing this! Ah! So UMAs. Unidentified mysterious animal, so a cryptid. A creature whose existence has not been confirmed by science. Examples include the Loch Ness Monster, the Yeti, or the Japanese Kappa, and Tsuchinoko. Tsuchinoko real! The word Uma itself was invented by the Japanese, and no one outside of Japan will recognize it. It's true. I didn't know what that meant until I started watching like more anime and playing games like Steins Gate. UFO. Unidentified flying object. Usually used to refer to spacecraft piloted by aliens, this term actually describes any kind of flying object whose nature is unknown. Who do you guys think I am? I guess I hadn't told them then. Mayuri, I'm pretty sure I told her. As the two of them looked at me with wide eyes, I cracked a knowing smile and puffed out my chest.
テニスサークルだ。
They're like, you're a nerd! What are you doing playing sports? The people around us all turned to stare at Ferris and Luka.
なんでテニスサークルなのかにゃ？
Imagine learning that a Tsuchinoko looks just like a baby snake that just ate. They're just little guys. They are. They're just little guys. And apparently Tsuchinoko, they get drunk, and I think they say curse words. Which, relatable.
岡部さん、今までテニスなんてやってましたっけ？
初心者に決まっているだろう。
I may not look it, but I'm terrible at sports. I'm confident I'd lose to Mayuri at distance
じゃ
running.
あにゃんで？
話せば長くなるんだが、大学のゼミの准教授がテニスサークルの顧問なんだ。 それで勧誘された。
一つも長くないにゃ。
いやまあ聞けって。相手は一応世話になってる人だし、サークルに顔を出してみたんだ。
ふーん。
そうしたらなんと俺にはテニスの才能があるらしくてな。初心者にもかかわらず会員相手に連戦連勝だったんだ。どうだ、大したもんだろ。
はあ。
岡部さんってやっぱりすごいです。
こんなことならプロテニスプレイヤーを目指しておけばよかったかな。
目指せウィンブルドンだね。
I don't think Ferris
どうした
believes
フェイ
him.
ス、頭でも痛いのか。
どこからどう突っ込めばいいのやら。どう考えてもサークルの会員数を増やすための罠じゃないかにゃ。
Oh, I didn't even consider that.
はっきり言うなよ。俺もうすうすそうじゃないかと思ってたけど、考えないようにしてるんだから。
Oh, okay. I mean, that explains it.
でもみんないい人ばっかりなんだぞ。
じゃあサークルの練習が忙しいんですね。
いや練習はあんまりしてないかな。
Great.
じゃあ一体何してるにゃ。
合コンとか。
Their shouts filled the whole street, and once again, people turned around to stare.
何驚くことないだろう。俺だって普通の大学生なんだから。
そうですよね。すみません。でも、
Oh, Luca still has a crush on him. Luca was fidgeting like he wanted to say something.
フェイリスというものがありながら他の女の子たちと楽しく合コン。許せないにゃ。
勘違いするなよ。俺は女の子なんか別に。
Then why are you going there? In fact, I went along with the rest of the club, but there really wasn't any place for a wannabe normie like myself. Why? Why is that my muscle memory now? Normies. People who live satisfying and fulfilled normal lives. Examples are people with lots of friends, or people with girlfriends, or people who spend a lot of time at their school clubs, or who go to parties, or who aren't interested in anime, or who go outside Japan during summer break. There was no way I could keep up with the conversations that the, well, normal normies had. While the other men and women were having fun, I would just kind of sit there. That's a mood. The matchmaking party was a challenge far beyond my capabilities. I wasn't going to tell Ferris and Luca that, though.
いいなあ。マユシーもオカリンと合コンしたいのです。
何？
Mayuri wanted to do what? Is she old enough to be interested in that sort of thing?
だってみんなで楽しくパーティーするんでしょ。
Ah. Evidently not.
間違ってはいないけど、なんだか微妙にニュアンスが違う気がするにゃ。場所はラボでいいかな。ルカ君とフェリスちゃんはもちろん参加ね。あとダル君やナエちゃんやスズさんも。
Oh? Mayuri turned to me with a guilty look. Suzuha? Suzuha Amane, also known as John Titer, a time traveler from the year 2036, a true warrior who was still fighting even as I was trying my best not to give up. I'd barely seen her since summer. I was avoiding her. Part of the reason I'd stopped going to the lab was that she spent all of her time there now. Until a month or so ago, just hearing Suzuha's name was enough to cause flashbacks. It was all I could do to endure them. A symptom of post-traumatic stress disorder. Patients who've undergone extreme trauma can suddenly, without warning, find themselves reliving the memories of those experiences, Flashbacks can cause symptoms like palpitations and shaking hands and feet. Yeah, it's rough. After 3 months, I could finally stand to hear her name. But I didn't think I could keep it together if I met her in person. Of course, it wasn't her fault, and I wasn't blaming her. So I didn't want her to blame me. She'd never come out and said it, but when she looked at me with that razor-sharp glint in her eyes, I felt something like guilt.
みんな
ん
マユシーね、ダル君と一緒に考えてるオペレーションがあるんだ。
Oh?
オペレーション？
It sounded like something the old me would have done.
っていうと、どんな作戦かにゃ？すずさんを笑顔にしよう大作戦。
え
Why was Mayuri talking about this out of the blue? No, maybe it wasn't out of the blue. She might have been thinking about it for a long time. So I decided to respond as cheerfully as I could.
聞かせてくれよまゆり。
マユシーは思うんだ。すずさんって普段は怖いけど本当はすっごく優しい人なんじゃないかなって。
I mean, you're right.
ラボにいる時にね、マユシーがソファーでうとうとしちゃうといつの間にかタオルケットがかかってたりするの。
Aw, that's cute.
すずさんに聞いてもそんなの知らないとしか言わないんだけど。
あ、僕もそういうことありました。以前お父さんに買い物を頼まれて、その帰りに荷物が重くて困っていたんです。そうしたら天音さんが通りかかって何も言わずに持ってくださったんですよ。
へえ初耳だな。
こんなこと当たり前だから誰にも言うなって。あ、言っちゃいましたけど。
そっか。
In the Alpha World line, she was a cheerful girl who smiled at everyone and who loved to go mountain biking. But in this world line, she wasn't the type who smiled a lot. This was partially due to the way she'd grown up. I'd heard about it third hand from Daru, but because of the universal conscription program that started after World War III broke out, she'd been forced to undergo military training ever since she was in middle school. And after that, she'd joined up with the anti-government forces and gotten caught in a terrible struggle. After that, he said, she'd never really smiled.
だからね、すずさんを本当の笑顔にしたいのです。
なるほどな。
Hi, Gambit. Welcome to the stream.
で、具体的には何をするのかにゃ？クリスマスパーティーだよ。クリスマスパーティー？
We all spoke in unison.
もうすぐクリスマスでしょ。すずさんね、そういうパーティーをやったことがないんだって。だからマユシーはすずさんにそれをプレゼントしようと思ってるんだ。
Ferris and Luca nodded at almost the exact same time.
その話乗ったにゃ。
僕も。
ありがとう。オカリンも参加してくれる？
そうだな。
ダメかな。
俺はともかく鈴葉が嫌がるんじゃないか。
I was never going back to the past. I still couldn't forget the look on Suzuha's face when I told her that. It was an expression filled with anger and despair. She must have felt like her last, most desperate hope was crumbling away right in front of her eyes. The words she'd said to me then were still sharp thorns lodged in my heart.
鈴葉は俺を嫌ってるし
シーはそうは思わないよ。すずさんはね、オカリンを怒っちゃったこと後悔してるんじゃないかな。
I mean, she did just message us not long ago. I mean, I don't think that she would be, like... I don't think that's a sign of her hating us. If she's actively reaching out to talk with us, like...
その気持ちを素直に言えないんだと思うのです。
そうだろうか。
きっとそうだよ。
I couldn't turn her down after Mayuri said that.
わかった。少し考えてみるよ。
ところで岡部さん、
There was a bit of hesitation in Luca's voice.
診察はどうでしたか？
Evidently, Luca had heard about my counseling from Mayuri. Maybe he'd wanted to see me because he was worried about how it went. I guess I'm making Lukako and Ferris worry too. In this world line, they hadn't joined the lab, but even so, they were dear friends. Once again, I need to stop. Ah. This term refers to the official members of the Future Gadget Laboratory, and anyone who's been given this designation has free access to the lab. Lab members are given numbers in the order that they joined. Which we know from the first game. I'm glad that they have these little reminders, though. That's nice.
催眠療法というのは初体験だったが、なかなか興味深かったな。俺は今まで催眠術なんかにはかからないと思ってたよ。驚いた。
かかっちゃったんですか？
見事にな。
へえ。そういうルカニャンも催眠術とかすぐにかかりそうだにゃ。そんな。
確かに速攻でやられるだろうな。
Luca would believe anything you told him. Anyway, there was no point in standing around forever. I was getting hungry and it was time to find some place to eat.
なあ、お前たち何が食べたい？おごるぞ。
We decided to head towards Yodobashi. There were a lot of restaurants there, so it was perfect.
やったにゃ。超なじゃなくてオカリン太っ腹にゃん。ありがとうございます。何食べようかな。唐揚げかな。
What's with the nose? I'm not sure what you mean. But welcome to the stream, DJ. DJ Golube? Golube? I think that's how you pronounce that. Let me know if I'm wrong.
ジューシー唐揚げ？マユシーはそればっかりにゃ。
Okay, that is how you pronounce it. Perfect. I walked behind the three of them, and I thought to myself, what would it be like if Kurisu was here? I tried my hardest for the past few months not to think about her, but was it because of my experience yesterday that I did anyway? The expressions and little mannerisms I'd seen yesterday. The voice, the way she walked. I remembered my conversation with her.
岡部倫太郎さん。はじめまして、牧瀬クリスです。どうぞよろしく。
I couldn't respond at all. Something felt slightly off about the way Kurisu moved on the screen. But it was really slight. I'd get used to it soon. More importantly, the voice and the way that she spoke were exactly like the real Kurisu. I almost cried, and it was all I could do to stop from breaking down.
先輩、そちらは深夜というわけではないですよね。
The camera on the PC switched from me to Maho.
ええ、違うけれどなぜ？
お二人とももしかして眠いのではないかと。
Was she talking about the fact that I didn't respond to her introduction?
私はさっきまで寝ていたけれど、今はもうしゃっきり目が覚めているわ。
だらしないのは相変わらずですね。
失礼なことを言わないで。
では先輩、もう一つ質問しても？
ええ、何？
岡部倫太郎さんとはどういう関係ですか？
この前の ATF セミナーに参加してくれた学生よ。なかなか研究熱心だと思ったから連れてきたの。
Maho decided not to tell Amadeus that I was a friend of Kurisu's before she died. Why, I wonder? Well, maybe the Amadeus doesn't even know Kurisu is dead? Did she not want Amadeus to find out? Or was I supposed to tell her myself?
へえ、先輩にそう言われるなんて大したものですね。
The Kurisu on the screen turned to me and smiled.
その
Calm down.
岡部さん、専攻はやはり脳科学ですか？
それは
The words got stuck in my throat. I said calm down! You know this is just a program. Her words, her appearance, even the conversation she's having with you right now, they're all artificial. But even though I knew that, I still couldn't speak. I had no idea what to say. And more than that, the words, nice to meet you, hit me harder than I thought they would. This wasn't the Kurisu I'd spent those 3 weeks with. Maho had told me this ahead of time, and I'd thought I understood it, but hearing it for myself hurt more than I imagined. I regretted not taking my anxiety meds, but it was too late now. My heart rate soared and my breathing became irregular. My head was spinning and the corners of my vision were beginning to dim. At some point, my lips had gone totally dry.
どうかしました？岡部さん。
Kurisu sounded worried. That voice software must be pretty good if it could handle nuances like that.
彼の専攻は脳科学ではないわ。だけど私たちの研究にとても興味があるんですって。
そうなんですか。
レスキネン教授も気に入ってるみたいだし、いずれは私の助手にでもしてやろうかと思っているところよ。
What a role reversal! Now Okabe's gonna be the assistant. My head snapped up in surprise at Maho's bizarre statement. Me? Maho's assistant? Then I'd go to Victor Condria University?
あら、お気に召さない？
お気に召すとか召さないとかそういう問題じゃなくて。
ま、冗談だけれどね。
冗談？
もしかして本気にした？
信じちゃいない。
I wasn't going to tell her that I almost did.
そう。でも、もっともっと勉強してくれれば、あながち冗談じゃなくなるかもしれないわよ。
仮にそうだとしても、レスキネン教授の助手がいい。
This was my way of getting back at her.
教授の助手って思っている以上に大変よ。あの方は本当に子供だから。
As she spoke, she quietly came over next to me and tapped me on the arm a few times. I see. So that was it. She was making a joke to try and calm me down.
悪かった。ありがとう。
何のことかしら？
I didn't think subtlety was her thing. Maybe I was wrong?
先輩、ちょっと。
Kurisu beckoned to Maho from within the screen in a very human manner.
何？
もうちょっとこっち。スピーカーに寄ってください。
Maho moved her ear close to the speaker. I was just thinking about how weird it was when...
Huh?
Maho suddenly turned bright red and shouted at the screen.
そんなわけないでしょ。何を言ってるのあなた。
そんなに照れなくても。
照れてるわけじゃないわ。とにかくおかしなことを言うのはやめて。
そうですか？
そうです。
一体何の話を？
It was obvious that Kurisu had whispered something to Maho. What did she say? Maho glanced at me. And for some reason, she blushed and turned away. Ah, I see. From the way Maho was acting and what I knew about Kurisu, there was only one possibility.
このスイーツかっこ笑い目
A pejorative term used to refer to girls who are easily influenced by trends or who think in ways that men find impossible to understand. However, it is said that the only people who use it often are boys who have very little experience with women. Very fitting for Okabe. I whispered a name I'd often teased Kurisu with, and suddenly I felt a lot better. She must have said something stupid like, "You two make a good couple," or "You finally found a man, huh?" The way she looked at a boy and a girl holding a friendly conversation and immediately assumed they were dating was just like the Kurisu I knew. Sheesh, what a system. It didn't need to be that true to her personality, did it? I chuckled. Do you think this Kurisu also browses @channel when Maho and the professor aren't looking too? Fictional, a huge anonymous message board that's the largest of its kind in Japan. Its catchphrase is, "Everything from hacking to tonight's dinner," and its boards discuss everything from underground topics to normal news. Nah, knowing her, she's probably commenting. I remember Kurisu once browsed @channel on the Future Gadget Laboratory's computer when she knew nobody else was around.
ちょっと入ってくるときはノックぐらいしてよ。
クリスティーナ、お前はやるべきことをサボって何を見ていた？
おい、その、あーこれはひどい、はいはいワロスワロスみたいな笑い方はなんだ？
Raffle. Net slang, short for rolling on the floor laughing. Other variants include LOL, laughing out loud, Raffle Mayo, rolling on the floor laughing my ass off, and Rafflecopter, like Raffle, but with a helicopter. It's sad that we don't use Rafflecopter anymore. We gotta bring that back.
いや、アットチャンネラークリス。
その呼び方はやめて。
俺はすでに気づいていた。そう、とっくに気づいていた。
Reminds me of Woot. Hi Life, welcome to the stream. Maybe you'll try to use it? Fuck yes. We need to bring it back to the mainstream.
失礼だな。ちゃんと毎日香りがきつくなる香水つけてるぞ。
そういう意味ではない。俺が言っているのは。
This sounds like mystery dungeon music. Like, this sounds like something I would hear in, like, one of the DS Pokemon Mystery Dungeons. Your soul's power level, huh? My silly remark seemed to have a much deeper meaning now. Was the girl in front of me one day going to, as Dr. Leskinen had said, become a real artificial soul? When that happens, what are we supposed to call a soul that still existed in the world after the body was gone? Not dead or alive, but something in between. Not dead or alive, but a secret third thing. This wasn't science anymore. It was philosophy or maybe religion.
バカな話はここまでにしましょう。岡部さんだってこんな中身のないことを聞きたくて来たわけではないわ。
そうやってごまかすところがますます怪しいですね。
ウイルスをぶち込むわよ。
嘘です。もう言いません。
Kurisu quickly bowed her head. I bet back when Kurisu was still alive, she had conversations like this with Maho every day. I'm sure Dr. Leskinen had a lot of fun watching them. It was actually kind of cute.
お騒がせしてごめんなさい、岡部さん。彼女と何か話してみる？
ああ。
Maho offered me the seat in front of the PC. Kurisu's face was on the monitor right in front of me. When our eyes met, she smiled a little. I didn't know she reacted like this to people when she first met them. But my meeting with Kurisu went about as badly as it possibly could have. I realized that her prickly attitude towards me could have been unusual for her.
Of
the amount of stream that I've missed, did I miss any Punch-a-Chunies? You have not! Surprisingly, like, I feel like this game is not gonna have very many Punch-a-Chuni moments, which is a little sad for me because I was looking forward to that, but I mean, hey, the world is already punching Okabe enough. I don't need to add on to it. Definitely an agreement there.
そうだな。
This wasn't good. I was remembering every moment I'd ever spent with Kurisu. I couldn't think of what to say. And then the words that came out of my mouth were...
タイムマシンは作れるだろうか。
That was what I'd once argued about with Kurisu on another world line. In the end, I'd lost the argument completely.
はい。
え？
タイムマシーンですか？
何の話を始めるのかと思ったら、いきなり何？
ただのテストだよ。思考実験ができるかどうかっていう。
どう？
That's
クリス。
You know, in context, you know, we know that's a little heavier, but like, honestly, I've done the same thing with character AIs. My favorite thing to do on character.ai is to just go to a random AI and then just type drops you into the pit and see what it does. Or just say some absolutely like wild bullshit for no reason, just to see what it does in response. I also like seeing people online basically torment character AIs until they like completely break character and do something else. It's a lot of fun.
そうですね。結論から言ってしまうと、タイムマシンは可能ではない。けれど、不可能とまでは言い切れないといったところでしょうか。
え？
That wasn't what she'd said.
最初に結論を言ってしまうと、タイムマシンなんていうのは馬鹿らしい代物だということです。
Sounds like the person that got an AI to find him torrent links by threatening a hostage situation. I saw that! That's so fucking funny still. Love that. See, it's like if these AIs had any kind of like actual intelligence to them, you know, I'd feel a little bad about fucking with them because it'd be like fucking with a person in that case. But these are just predictive language algorithms. They don't actually like know what the hell they're saying. Otherwise, you know, that lawyer who used ChatGPT to write a legal document for him wouldn't have gotten into so much shit because it would have actually been correct. That's what Kurisu had said in the Alpha World line. I remembered that well.
俺はタイムマシンなんてバカらしい代物だと思うけどな。
I remembered our old debate and decided to repeat what Kurisu had said then.
そう決めつけるのは早計ですよ。
そうかな。確かに世界中の科学者がタイムトラベル理論を提唱している。主な理論
Now we have Kurisu GPT.
どれも仮説の域を出ない。しかも理論同士が矛盾し否定し合っているものまである。
ええ。
例えば宇宙紐理論やワームホール理論。これらは思考実験としてはタイムトラベルを可能にするが、そもそも宇宙紐だのエキゾチック物質だのどこからどう探してくればいいのか見当もつかない。つまり現実的ではない。
I heard years ago they were actually developing Amadeus as a chat app IRL with Kurisu on it. That's awesome. It's like, I think I read somewhere, like, after the first game, because of course, like, as much as I was trying to stay unspoiled for, like, the rest of the series, I did look into the first game a little bit. I did hear that they had actually made, like, real working versions of Okabe's red cell phone, like red flip phone from the first game. And that just rules. I love it when stuff from games is made real. It's so much fun. And I guess any kind of media. It's like those like Snoopy Christmas trees that you see every single holiday season. I think TV Tropes has a word for this, actually. I don't remember. I have a link saved to make an IRL divergence meter. That's awesome. This was also something that Kurisu had told me in the Alpha World line. But the Kurisu on the screen was unmoved.
それは科学者がまだ重大な何かを発見できていないからでしょうね。
それじゃあ君はタイムマシンをいつか作れると思っているのか?
Huh, so something must have happened between when this, like, copy of Kurisu's memories was saved and whenever Okabe met her in the first game to make her go, fuck time travel, all my homies hate time travel.
不可能とまでは言い切れない。そう言いましたが。
Yeah, her opinion was slightly different. Was this because I was in the beta world line? Or perhaps...
なあ、ヒアジョーさん。彼女は自分がオリジナルの記憶から派生した存在だということは認識しているんだよな。
もちろん。
じゃあ、うまい例が思いつかないんだが、一卵性双生児みたいなことはあるのか？生まれた時は見分けがつかない。だが育つにつれて差異が出てくるとか、そういうこと。
Yeah, that sounds pretty reasonable. I mean, she did say that they formed their own memories after the fact, so...
それについてはまだ検証中だけれど、蓄積されていく記憶が異なれば、当然元の人間とは違うものになっていくと思うわ。私と教授はそう考えている。
そっか。
It was then that I heard the door on the other side of the partition slam shut.
教授かしら。
あの大きな足音はそうじゃないでしょうか。
I could definitely hear somebody stomping around outside. And then after a heavy knock, the door to the booth flung open. Hi! You are... It took me a second to realize what the hell he was trying to say there. But also, sir, do you have to stand so close to me? Lintalo? The professor opened his arms wide as he came inside. He grabbed my hand and began to wave it around. I hadn't realized he was this friendly. He seemed to think he was giving me a handshake, but it felt like I was being worked over by a pro wrestler.
Hey boy, what's up?
I want to save that. I want to save that audio clip.
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Yeah, this guy is funny. This man deserves a medal.
岡部さん、ひどい英語ですね。
黙れ、クリスティーナ。
クリスティーナ？
Oh no, I was so focused on the professor that I'd used my old nickname for her.
なんでもない。気にしないでくれ。
気になります。なんで私がクリスティーナなんですか？
だからなんでもないというのに。
Hey, Mister, I am mad scientist. This guy gets a medal. He does. Also, yeah, I was just thinking about that part from the first game. What gets me about that is him just following up, like, his already wild sentence with, son of a bitch! That's what gets me with it. It's like, you didn't have to say that.
なんでもない割には動揺してますよね。
しつこいぞ、クリスティン。
No!
クリス。
Kurisu and Maho both seemed lost in thought.
クリスティーナって呼んでいたのね。
君もそこに食いつくな。
I didn't want any more questions about this. Since the professor was here, I decided to ask more about how Amadeus's memories work.
教授
So
アマデウス
cool!
の記憶を
Son of a
外部から
bitch!
改ざんすることは
Yeah,
可能なんですか
exactly! But the professor wasn't listening to my question. He seemed to be frantically searching his pockets for something. Come to think of it, I didn't see that translator device on his ear. He must have been looking for it, which meant odds were good that he didn't even hear my question.
私の記憶の改ざんですか？理論上は可能です。
Kurisu herself answered in the professor's place.
例えば、私が自分の名前をクリスティーナであると思い込む。そう仕向けることもできるでしょう。ただ、普通のデータと違い、記憶データはとても複雑です。今のところ
Fair?
改ざんに成功した例はないと認識しています。仮に改ざんに成功した場合でも、私がそれに気づいて自分で修復してしまうでしょう。
Fair. I mean, I'm glad that they have fail-safes in place for that, because I'm sure there are people out there who would do that for nefarious means.
私は私以外アクセス不可の領域にログを取っていますから。つまり秘密の日記ですね。その日記と現在の記憶との間に不自然な齟齬があれば、私は高い確率で
Nefarious memes are the most terrifying. I go to scary, I funny, and I browse the nefarious memes.
さらに言えば、私の記憶データは定期的にバックアップされています。自己修復が不能なほどに改ざんされたとしても、復旧することが可能なんですよ。最終バックアップから改ざんされた時点までの記憶はなくなってしまいますが。
そっか。
Very good to know. Regardless of the topic of discussion, it felt strange. What Maho had said before she'd loaded Kurisu was true. I was starting to feel like I was chatting with the real Kurisu. The way she wouldn't let you get a word in edgewise when she started talking about science was exactly like the real thing.
しかし
Steins Gate memes are good. I turned towards Kurisu and spoke.
君は自分のことを機械として客観的に語ることができている。小説や漫画でよくあるパターンだと、自分は機械ではない人間だとか言い出しそうなものだが。
それは全くナンセンスですね。人間そのものが自分をハードウェアとソフトウェアの組み合わせとして語るじゃありませんか。
It's true. Like, you know, there's that whole question about personhood in philosophy where it's like, are you your body? Are you your mind? Are you your soul? Are you some combination of any part of those? Is there any part of that that, you know, maybe isn't exactly you? I've always fallen on, like, my mind is me, but even that... Amazing, I'm glad that you like the description. I always try to put, like, little funny jokes in the description in every one of my streams, but, I mean, not always. I did something different for the Nuzlocke run, but... It's like, I know most people don't end up reading them, but it's like, you know, it's there in case someone looks. But yeah, it's like, as much as I'm always like, yeah, no, I am my mind, because that's what processes my memories, that's what I make decisions with, and that's, you know, who I am. I'm the experiences that I've had and the choices that I make. But even then, it's like, I refer to my brain as like a separate thing a lot of the time, so... Yeah, it's like, what she's saying here is true. Okay, yeah, that's different than what I was thinking of.
なるほど。
But that's also a very interesting point.
さすがへりくつなら誰にも負けないわね、この子。
When she heard this, Kurisu turned towards Maho, her CG eyes big and round, though it was really just the camera sensor moving.
ねえ先輩、余計なお世話かもしれませんけど、口が悪いのを少し直した方がいいですよ。せっかく春が来そうなのに嫌われたらどうするんです？
She does think they're dating!
だからそん の話に戻るのはやめなさい。
けど私にとっては今一番興味があります。
一番どうでもいいことでしょ、そんなの。
これが人生最後のチャンスだったらどうするんですか？
あなたこそその口を改めなさい。
The clapping!
ははははは。
Dr. Leskinen was clapping his hands together and laughing. I had to chuckle a little too. Afterward, the three of us, including the professor, talked to Kurisu, discussing technical subjects and making small talk. The next thing I knew, it had been almost an hour. I actually felt a little sad when Maho told me it was time to stop. In just a single hour, the strangeness I'd felt about Amadeus had disappeared, and it felt like I was really talking to Kurisu. Dr. Leskinen stopped me before I left.
テストをやる気はあるかな？
I tilted my head when I heard the professor speak through the translator.
Amadeus にはタイヤ散歩が少なくてね。うちの研究室の子たちを総動員してはいるのだけれどね。
とはいえ、アマデウスはまだ研究段階だし、誰彼構わず接触させるわけにもいかないわ。
そこでクリスの友人だったレンタロにぜひとも協力してほしいんだ。
I remembered they'd mentioned something about being a tester at the party, so this is what they were talking about.
私と教授はしばらく日本に滞在する予定なの。だからテスターをお願いするのはその間ということになるわね。
Heck yeah.
あなたにしてもらいたいのはとにかくクリスと対話を重ねてもらうこと。
People always say their body is a temple, but none ever talk about traversing the moat, searching for the 3 golden idols, and then assemble the shrine of the silver monkey to escape. Amazing. See, I don't believe in my body as a temple. I filled it with too much McDonald's for that.
具体的なノルマのようなものは特にないわ。気が向いたら話をするぐらいでいい。ただ月に2回程度は私と教授にテスト経過の報告をしてほしいの。
What if your body is a temple to McDonald's? I don't want that! I don't want my body to be, like, a corporate-sponsored temple.
それと
I'm gonna switch to Popeyes now.
報酬は出せないんだ。そこも含めて
The mouth is the ritual site! Yes, in multiple contexts. That was a sex joke.
俺は
亡くした友人をそっくりそのまま再現した AI と話をさせる。それは君にとってとても残酷なことだとは理解しているつもりだよ。
We must sacrifice a... Hey! Nightbot, come on! He wasn't doing anything. I guess using like more than 3 emojis in a row is what sets Nightbot off. We must sacrifice a burger to the maw. We must sacrifice all the chicken nuggets.
乗り気でないのなら断ってくれていいからね。
No more than 2 emoji. This ain't Twitch. I mean, you could if I turned off Nightbot, but I'm not doing that. Hi, this is the computer. You're not getting that. I remembered what it had felt like to talk to Kurisu when the monitor was just about to turn off. This is what Kurisu had said. Let's talk again sometime, Rintaro Okabe. That's what I'd hoped for when I came here, wasn't it?
やります。やらせてください。
I thought I was ready when I accepted the job, but I had never expected this. Oh. Yeah, connect.
はい。
マキセですけど。
It's fun for me to think about, like, if this was made today, I'm certain that Kurisu would have had, like, a live 2D avatar. Because it would have really just highlighted how different she is from the rest of the cast at this point. It's too bad the tech didn't exist back then. Kurisu was displayed on the screen. Yes, it was Amadeus. The app the professor had given me allowed me to access the servers at Victor Conway University from anywhere 24 hours a day.
岡部さんからクリスの方へ呼びかけることができるのはもちろんだけれど。
Do you know about Maximilian Dude? I feel like I've heard the name. I don't know who or what that is. The name is familiar. I just don't know what it connects to.
クリスの方からあなたに呼びかけてくることもあるから。
He's a fighting game guy. Oh, okay. That's probably why I don't know of him. I'm not really into fighting games, sorry. This I hadn't predicted. Amadeus. Amadeus? Is that how I'm supposed to say it? I'll try to keep that in mind. I think he was on the couch for an Final Fantasy VI promo with the characters. With the creators, not the characters. What am I... My brain is getting melted. Amadeus. Okay, okay. I kind of figured that I was pronouncing that wrong, but I wasn't sure. He's got a little Pomeranian as a mascot named Benny. That's cute! Pomeranians are adorable. My grandma has one. She got him as a puppy, and oh my god! I don't think that you've experienced true cuteness until you've seen a Pomeranian puppy. I never thought that she would call me. Or that her face would be displayed on the screen.
それともクリスティーナですけどって自己紹介した方が良かったですか?
She looked really mad. I could guess why. I had gotten 8 calls from Kurisu and I had ignored them all.
事情はレスキネン教授や先輩から聞いています。だから最初に一言こちらから挨拶しようと思っていたんですが、まさか8回もイルスを使われるとは思いませんでした。なんで黙ってるんですか?
Palms look like they can barely stand, yet they insist on threatening you. It's true. She remembered. Oh, hit the scroll wheel. Talking to a realistic girl on my smartphone with so many people around was pretty embarrassing.
まあ、話す気がないならそれはそれでいいんですが。なんなのよ。せっかくいつも以上に人と話せるチャンスだと思ってたのに。バカみたいじゃない。たく。いずれにせよ、テスト中は私はあなたといつでもつながっていますから。気が向いたらどうぞ連絡してきてください。こっちも忙しいので、あなたの連絡にいつも出れるかどうかわかりませんけど。
Man, what is this? More than that strangely polite, friendly Kurisu from yesterday. Angry, stubborn, more curious than anyone. The way she seemed to be constantly challenging you.
それでは、お邪魔しました。
I realized that this really was Kurisu Makise. Benny passed away 7 months ago, and as an act of charity from the devs of Naraka Blade Points, they put Max in as a character and Benny. That's really sweet! It's always nice when, you know, pets that are owned by, you know, popular Let's Players or content creators or, like, game devs end up getting immortalized because they were so heavily tied to, like, the creation. It's like, it's like Missile from Ace Attorney and Ghost Trick. I think the real Missile died back in, like, 2020, but, like, the Missile in the games is always gonna be there. That was the girl I'd spent those 3 weeks with. Lab member 4, my assistant, Christina, aka Kurisu Makise. Her movements were a little more jerky than I'd seen on the computer in Dr. Leskinen's office, but evidently that was because of the smartphone. This alone was enough to make me feel like my heart was being squeezed dry. I stood still, holding the smartphone tight.
じゃなかった。オカリン、どうしたにゃ？
ああ、今行く。
I thought to myself as I ran to catch up with the others. Maybe Dr. Leskinen was right, and this test would be a very cruel thing for me. But even so, in my mind, I was all ready. Starting to think about what I would talk about with Kurisu. Oh? Maho Hyajo was remembering, so this is new. She was remembering the last night she'd spoken to Kurisu Makise in person. End of March.
冗談じゃないわ。こんな大事な時期になんで私が。
That night, Kurisu was whispering to herself a lot. Victor Condria University's Brain Science Institute. Maho and Kurisu worked in the same room at the lab. Thus, Maho was forced to hear Kurisu's angry mumblings whether she wanted to or not. A little was fine, but she'd been acting like this all day and it was keeping Maho from concentrating. She finally snapped and turned away from the paper she was writing.
ねえ、ちょっとクリス？
English was the language most commonly used at Victor Condria University. When the other staff and professors were around, she'd always use English. But when it was just her and Kurisu, Maho would often speak in Japanese.
いい加減にしてくれないかしら。
え？ああ、何がです？
Kurisu stopped messing with her luggage and turned around.
うるさくて集中できないのよ。この論文、明日までに教授に提出しないといけないんだけど。
もしかして私独り言言ってました？
騒音郊外で訴えてあげようかしら。
Is this Maho's thing? Does she just threaten to sue people all the time? Reminds me of a friend of mine.
すみません。
Kurisu apologized and started to scratch the back of her head. I love their dynamic. Yeah, they really come across as, like... It feels like they were friends back before Kurisu, you know. Maho decided to calm down by standing up and going to the shelf where the research notes were kept. There were several books she needed for her paper, but they were all up on the top shelf. This must be someone's idea of a prank, she'd said, and she stared up at a heavy book. She decided to try and reach for it, but no matter how she stood on her toes, she came nowhere close. Her tiny little arms seemed to her like dead branches waving in the wind. She bit her lip. Someone who lost my dog, whom I've known since I was 5 or 6, I bet if/when Max heard about Naraka wanting to put him and Benny in the game, his heart must have definitely skipped a beat, you know? Oh, definitely. If like a big game company reached out to me and was like, hey, we want to immortalize, like, your beloved recently deceased pet, like, that would be like the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me, to be honest. A way to kind of keep them alive forever. After she'd skipped grades to go to college and then come to work at this lab, she'd had more chances than ever before to hate her small stature. Whenever she walked outside after dark, the cops would stop her. Even with her ID, she couldn't get into bars, and buying medicine and alcohol at drugstores was a pain. The most humiliating part was that no matter where she went, everyone thought she was in middle school. Nobody believed her when she said she was 20. Imagine a game company saying they'll immortalize your pet and it was just necromancy. Oh, hell no. I've seen Pet Sematary. I know what goes on in that movie. I want no part of that. Everything in America was just too big.
撮りましょうか?
Kurisu noticed the trouble Maho was having and came over. But Maho was stubborn and decided to pretend nothing was wrong.
大丈夫よ。別に困ってなんかいないもの。
困ってるじゃないですか。
困ってません。
そうですか。
そうです。
でも私も借りていきたい本があるので。
Kurisu easily reached up to the highest shelf and grabbed the book Maho wanted.
背が高い人はいいわね。
いえ、私もそれほど高い方では。
When I hear about immortalized pets, I immediately think of the story of Hachiko. I think I have. That's the dog that kept going to this train station for like years after her owner passed away, right? Always waiting for him to come home. Really depressing story. Poor thing. Kurisu covered her mouth when she realized she'd said something she shouldn't have.
ありがとう。助かったわ。日本で何か必要なものがあったら言ってね。送ってあげるから。
Admittedly, considering that I grew up pretty much like surrounded by dogs, sad dog stories like the story of Hachiko or the story of Laika, they really hit me hard, you know?
Hi. ありがとうございます。
Kurisu handed over the book as she spoke, and then suddenly her eyes went wide and began to sparkle.
ねえ先輩、今の話ですけど。
Reminds me of the Littlest Hobo theme song.
今の
Oh, I
話
need
って
to re-listen to
どの
that. I know
話？
Val's sung it in like karaoke's a few times, but I mean it's been a little bit.
独り言ですよ。
え？おー。
It looked like Kurisu had come up with a new idea. This was a regular occurrence for Kurisu, and Maho was used to it. Recently, some people came together and made a statue of the owner coming home and Hachiko jumping into her owner's arms. Ah! That hurts my heart! The happy ending that just wasn't possible.
それって自我の証明の一つになるんじゃないでしょうか。
アマデウスの？
はい。
確かに。あの子がいきなり独り言を言い出したらびっくりするけれど。
No matter how advanced an AI was, it wouldn't talk to itself unless you programmed it to do that. And there was no need or even a point to a feature like that. If an AI started talking to itself, that might be a good indication that there was a self to talk to. But Maho hesitated to agree with her.
ここではめったなことを口にするものではないわ。魂は神が人間に与えたもうたものである。そう考える人たちが多いことを忘れないで。
そうでしたね。
Kurisu's expression dimmed. Kurisu and Maho were both treated as heretics in the lab, especially since they were both Japanese and women. And Kurisu was simply too talented. Nobody ever actually did anything, but a lot of the older scientists were definitely avoiding her. Dr. Leskinen was the chief scientist, and the fact that he liked the two of them was all that let them to do their research in peace. If the other scientists heard what Kurisu had just said, who knows what they'd do. AIs don't talk to each other, not because they weren't programmed for it, but because they're introverts. I mean, I'm pretty sure in character AI you can actually create, like, group chats between two AIs and see how they interact. I never messed with that feature too much, just because I kind of just use character AI to fuck around and not much else. It's mostly because, you know, I don't want to feed my personal data to AI programs and algorithms. I mean, I guess I already do that by being on social media, but you know what I mean. Maho patted Kurisu on the shoulder.
まあ、しばらく日本でリフレッシュしてくることね。
それが納得いきません。
どうして？向こうの生活だって楽しいと思うけれど。
留学するなら大学院ですよ。なんで高校なんですか？
仕方ないでしょ。日本では年齢的にあなたはまだ高校生なんだから。 教授の思いやりは素直に受けておきなさいな。
Maho remembered what Dr. Leskinen had said. Kurisu has a fragile personality. All the bickering in the lab is putting her under a lot of stress, and she's at her limit. It might ruin her as a researcher. That's what the professor had said. He was really worried about her.
それにもともと7月になれば日本に行かなくちゃいけなかったんだからちょうどいいじゃない。
はい、実はそれも憂鬱で。
秋葉原テクノフォーラムだったかしら。
公演なんて慣れてないし、何をどうしていいのか。
サイエンス誌に論文が載った以上これからもどんどん増えるわよ。
If you want to check out Maximilian Dude's work, I recommend you start with his Boss Rage videos. That they are really cool, especially since it's Azura's Wrath, and especially his Azura's Wrath and Capcom 5 SNK2 videos. Fair enough. I will say, when it comes to things people have suggested that I watch and read and whatever, the list is as long as my arm. So, I don't know if I'll ever actually get around to it, but I'll keep it in mind.
やだな。
Kurisu whispered to herself. Maho didn't like being around a lot of people either, so she knew how Kurisu felt. But there were a lot of scientists who wanted to be published in a major journal, then go on to give public lectures. And she'd beaten out many of them to win that honor. People were jealous. She needed to fulfill her responsibilities, even just to shut them up. Maybe I'm not that much better, though. Maho silently laughed a little, and hated herself for doing it. Maybe I'm just as jealous as they are. That feeling, which was a little like fear, was something that she always felt. The girl in front of her was just that different from Maho. Someone she could never reach no matter how hard she tried. Someone who'd surpassed everything she'd ever done almost instantly. I know the feeling.
先輩？
Was it fun playing the second AI game novella? I love the sequel. It was a lot of fun. Admittedly, I feel like the story isn't as good in the second one as it was in the first one. The first one felt a lot more tightly woven, but it was a roller coaster ride, and I loved so many of the new characters. Like, it was still a very, very good experience. Highly recommend checking out those VODs if you have the time, souls. We had a lot of fun. Anywho, just wanted to pop in and see how y'all were doing. See y'all next time, and remember to hydrate. Thanks, Logan. You stay hydrated too. And I almost said be safe, have fun. Val is really rubbing off on me. Have a good night. Kurisu was peering into her face, confused. Maho felt flustered.
日本でお父さんには会うの？
Ooh, that's a sore subject. She'd heard that Kurisu's parents weren't divorced, but that they were separated. Her mom was still in America and her dad was in Japan. After Maho said it, she wondered if that was too personal of a question. But Kurisu smiled a little.
実は父から招待状が届いたんですよ。
Oh, and we all know how that goes.
夏頃新しい理論の発表会をするそうです。それを見に行こうかと思ってます。
新しい理論って？
Kurisu's smile changed into a small expression of consternation. Consternation? Consternation,
詳しく
yes.
聞いてないんですよね。相対性理論に関することらしいんですけど。
Okay, let's look at that. The term theory of relativity refers to two theories published by Einstein, the special theory published in 1905 and the general theory in 1916. These are the source of the famous equation E equals mc squared. Special relativity makes clears up the following. Matter cannot exceed the speed of light. The closer you get to the speed of light, the slower time gets. If you reach the speed of light, time stops. The closer you get to the speed of light, the more your length decreases. If you reach the speed of light, your length becomes 0. The closer matter gets to the speed of light, the more its mass increases. If it were to reach the speed of light, its mass would become infinite. General relativity adds the following. Time slows down in the presence of a strong gravity field. Space compresses in the presence of a strong gravity field. Mass increases in the presence of a strong gravity field. Oh, we didn't look at apps. Short for application software. Any software that can be used by downloading it to your operating system. Maho felt like she was hiding something, but didn't question her anymore.
とにかく気をつけて行ってくることね。お土産期待しているから。
何がいいですか？
そうね。せっかく秋葉原に行くのだから何か珍しいものがいいわ。秋葉原詳しいのよね。
なんでです？
休憩時間によくそういうサイト見てるじゃない。
Outed as a redditor at work.
まさ
The
か
biggest
アマデ
nightmare.
ウスが喋ったんですか？
あの子はそんなことしないわ。あなた、私が後ろにいるのに動画に夢中になってて気づかないことがあるわよ。
まさかバレていたなんて自分のうかつさが憎い。
Kurisu actually seemed upset for once. This really surprised Maho.
先輩、お願いです。どうか他の人たちには内密に。
別に隠すことはないと思うけれど。
The idea of sharing a secret with Kurisu made Maho happy.
わかった。言わないでおくわ。
助かります。
Yeah, this is a really sweet conversation. I do really like their dynamic. Kurisu seemed genuinely relieved. Maho continued.
ねえ、あなたが日本から戻ってきたらアマデウスが独り言をつぶやけるかどうか二人で検証してみましょう。
No, Nightbot! Sorry, souls. Kurisu had a very happy look on her face. It was the face of a born scientist who loved to explore the unknown more than anything in the world. Her smile was as innocent as that of a child who'd just been given a new toy. It was very beautiful. You could probably lighten the spam setting on Nightbot. Yeah, I probably should. And it was one of the reasons that Maho liked the younger researcher quite a bit. But the promise the two of them made would never be fulfilled. In fact, they would never even meet again. It felt like she was thinking about Kurisu more and more since she'd come to Japan. Maho didn't know if it was because she was in Japan or because she was talking with the what was the pronunciation? I'm going up. I'm scrolling up. Amadeus. Amadeus? Amadeus. Yes. Amadeus Kurisu more often. Or maybe, was it because she'd met the young man named Rintaro Okabe?
私の知らないクリスを知っている人か。
Thinking back, the first day they'd met, she'd broken down and cried right in front of him. It was something she didn't really want to remember. She chased the memories away out of embarrassment.
さては岡部さんのことを考えていましたね。
She snapped her head towards the PC monitor. Maho was in the middle of a conversation with Kurisu.
ええ、そうね。
She shrugged her shoulders and tried to ignore Kurisu's mischievous smile.
不思議だと思わない？レスキネン教授が岡部さんのことをあそこまで買っているなんて。2度しか会ったことのない相手なのにあなたのアクセス権も渡してしまったし、あそこまで信用していいのかしら。
誠実そうな人でしたが。
そう？向上心があるのかないのか少しつかみどころがない人だったわ。
I mean, yeah, you just met him. You don't really understand anyone when you first meet them.
好きなんですか？
あなたね。
Really insistent about that, huh? Maho brought her face close to the monitor and glared, but Kurisu seemed unconcerned.
別に取り繕う必要はないでしょ。昨日は本人の目の前だったから仕方ないにしても、今は私たち二人きりですし。
Kurisu may not have looked like someone who would, but she really enjoyed this sort of gossip. Maybe girl talk was the right word. Maho sighed and sat back in her chair. The creaking sound echoed throughout the empty office.
本当にそんな感情はないわ。岡部さんはどんな人なのかさえまだよく分かっていないのだから。
なるほど。まあそうでしょうね。
Kurisu let the matter drop. This bothered Maho a little.
ただ気になるのは。
何です？
いえ、なんでもないわ。
Maho had been spending a lot of time thinking about something since yesterday, to the point where she'd even put off her research. What kind of relationship was there between Kurisu and Okabe? Okay, but imagine being caught in a love triangle with AI Kurisu and an AI version of yourself. Oh, that's hell. That's hell right there. What was Kurisu feeling in the days before she died? She would have liked to ask Okabe if she could.
先輩、
I'm
私
sitting
の
too
オリ
long.
ジナルと岡部さんは知り合いだったんですか？
Maho shivered. It was as if Kurisu had been reading her mind.
どうして分かったの？
Nobody has ever understood you better than I do. It's like that. It's like that really popular thread that's like, would you or would you not fuck your own clone? And it's like one of the responses is no. It was a poll. It was a poll. I forgot about that. It was like, would you fuck your clone? Dr. Robotnik says yes. My own clone! Now neither of us will be virgins! But I know one of the responses in that poll was straight up like, who would know how to fuck me better than me? Anyways, enough about clone fucking. Let's get back to this conversation.
状況証拠を積み上げただけですが、証明しましょうか？
別にいいわ。あなたのことだから反証の余地もないでしょ。
The way they used words like proof in normal conversation showed that both Maho and Kurisu were scientists at heart. Sounds like that movie about the guy dating a phone app. I remember that! It was like, hey, what if someone fell in love with Siri? Kinda weird to me, but I mean, hey, people have done weirder. It's like there are people out there who marry their anime body pillows. The fact that someone could get attached to something that they could say, I love you to, and the thing says I love you back, I mean, that's not that surprising.
相手だけが一方的に私との記憶を持っているのでは、対話に齟齬が出てしまう可能性が高いです。
The ending was supposed to be profound, but I couldn't stop laughing. I know nothing about that movie, to be honest. All I know is like the basic premise, and I kind of went like, ah, that's whatever. I don't go to movies where romance is like the main focus point a lot of the time. I can't remember any romantic movie that I've ever like purposefully tried to go and see. It has to be part of like a bigger plot for me to be at all interested in it.
彼と話していく上でどうするのかはあなたに任せる。岡部さんの方から切り出してくるかもしれないし、なんならあなたから聞いてみてもいいわ。
If spoilers are a concern, I'll summarize it for laughs. Yeah, go ahead. I'm probably never gonna watch it. Maho still didn't know if Okabe would even access Amadeus at Amadeus? Amadeus. Amadeus. I think that's right. This is Dr. Leskinen all over again. Is this just gonna be a trend? Is every episode gonna have me struggling to pronounce something that keeps showing up in the text? Anyways, they weren't forcing him to. Let it flow off your tongue. I am trying.
ふりをするというのは嘘をついているのと同じことになりますよね。
Huh? Sorry, 100th Assassin. There's no way that's real. There's no fucking way. Are you serious? What? What do you fucking mean she gets bored and all the phones fly away into space? You are dealing unfathomable amounts of psychic damage right now.
興味深いデータが取れそうな気がします。
Yes, it was interesting. But that was her opinion as a researcher working on Amadeus. How would Rintaro Okabe think about it? Feel about it? Wouldn't this be rubbing salt on the wounds in his heart? Maho realized she was getting much too sentimental.
やっぱり日本に来たせいなのかもしれないわね。
It had been a week since she'd arrived. The first thing she'd planned to do was offer flowers. But she still couldn't bring herself to visit the Akihabara radio building, the place where Kurisu had died. As a hyper-intelligent computer, humans are too slow for her processing speed, so she shops around all of Earth. But even that isn't enough, and men are too jealous, so she chooses not to live on this planet anymore. What? What? Hello? Okay. The man suspecting his phone was cheating on him, and it was with every man on Earth. You know, that alone is already pretty wild, but at least, you know, I could see it being taken seriously. Who the hell thought that all phones flying away into space would be anything other than fucking hilarious? Anyways, we already know what this place is, but I'll read this anyways. An 8-story commercial building in the front of Akihabara Station. It contains lots of computer and hobby shops. On the 7th floor, there's a plate reading the birthplace of personal computing. That is not the back button. There we go. Eh? Oh. Who are you? Well, I mean, I'm gonna save here because, I am sweating my ass off here. I don't like it. Okay, once again, double saving, gotta be sure. And we'll go to the just chatting screen. So, we've gotten a little deeper into the plot. I had no idea that I wasn't even past the introduction last stream. That's really funny. I mean, did I do a similar thing in the first game? I feel like I did, but then again, I feel like the intro happened, like, super quick in the first game. So. Yes, I did. Okay, fair enough. So I'm not just taking too long on these streams. Which is what I was kind of worried about. Oh, man. Part of my brain is like, hey, it's the evening now. Go and, like, you know, get yourself a snack. Because admittedly, okay, so after the last stream ended, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to the grocery store, gonna pick myself up a Delissio pizza. But my parents ended up calling me, and by the time I got there, even while I was on the phone with them, just because it took a little extra time for me to leave, by the time I got there, it was already closed. So, whoops. Getting beat from the heat. Here's a quick tip. Lock yourself in a room with a bear. Suddenly, the heat isn't so important. Advice to live by. But yeah, so I'm probably gonna take a run to the grocery store because I need bread. I need bread for my sandwiches. Because anything hot that I make heats up the apartment even more. Not live long, though. Yeah, I mean, you know, I would expect that. I mean, that's the whole thing, you know? You don't have to worry about the heat when you're dead. Anyways, so yeah, that's probably gonna be my evening, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want to leave my apartment. I don't want to leave. It's fucking hot out there. I mean, then again, it's getting pretty hot in here, too, so you know what? I'm gonna stop bitching about the heat and do the end of stream stuff. It's hard for me to not bitch about it because I have 0 heat tolerance. I have insane cold tolerance. Like, my ideal, like, living space temperature is about, let me look it up. Let me look it up. Celsius to Fahrenheit. It's around, like, 13 to 15 degrees Celsius. So, at max, that would be 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Enjoy your baguettes. I'm not getting a baguette. I'm just getting some normal whole wheat bread. I just want sandwiches. But yeah, so it's like I have some good cold tolerance. Like, 59 degrees Fahrenheit is, like, comfortable for me. 27 Celsius here, yeah. It's pretty hot where I am, too. I think that it said with the humidity today, it felt like it was 38 degrees Celsius. Which is 100 degrees Fahrenheit. In a place where all the buildings are made to keep the heat in. And it's humid outside, so much so that you're sweating before you even start sweating. It's, bad. Nightbot! Okay. I'm fixing Nightbot after the stream is done. Fuck that. Anyways. So, if you're new around here and you like what you saw, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, you'll be notified whenever I go live. Also, you can follow my Twitter and very soon, Tumblr, because, Twitter might be exploding. I know there's that new site, like, Threads, I think it was. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna join it. It's one of those things where it's like, I've already been using Tumblr for a long time. I might as well just keep doing it. Imagine being an AI that gets yelled at like a dog that just shred the curtains. Nightbot really is just our funny little stream pet. It lives in the chat, and it eats spam comments. But yeah, so I don't know how long Twitter's gonna last. I don't know, maybe someday I'll join that, like, Threads site. I don't know, it's just because it's run by, like, it's the same company, like, it's Meta that made, like, Facebook and Instagram, and I'm not a fan of either of those platforms, so I'm kind of like, why would I try out a social media platform from these guys when I already haven't liked their other 2 social media platforms? But you never know. You need an Instagram for Threads, I hear? So I'm not getting it. I'm not making an Instagram account. Fuck that. So yeah, so eventually, it'll be on Tumblr. And, required connectivity is garbage, in my opinion. Yes. Very much so. Like, it sucks that... It always sucks when you need an account to do anything. Like, I've been applying... Okay, this is... I'll end the stream as soon as I'm done this little rant. I've been applying to a lot of jobs recently, but a lot of the companies that I'm applying for, they all have different sites, and you have to log into every one of them. You have to make a new account for each one of them. It's like, how the hell am I supposed to have a separate password for each account? How is that possible? I would never remember all of them. It sucks. It's awful. Like, you're already posting on Indeed. Just accept the application through Indeed. Why do you need your own separate site? It's costing you more money. Anyways, that aside, thank you for joining me today. I will see you all another time. Next Tuesday should hopefully be another stream. Assuming that, you know, nothing comes up in my life. As of right now, doesn't look like it's going to. But you never know. So, yeah, have a good night, everyone. And be safe. Bye!